It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
Imagine this, buddy. 3 players Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi standing together as the entire league crumbles around them. A commissioner so inebriated, on par, and a fan base so furious they eventually exploded with 200,000 fans formally announcing a boycott for 2026. The WNBA is currently dealing with its worst scandal to yet. Additionally, the number is rising so quickly that Cathy Engelbert herself left the league headquarters in a state of complete terror. Sponsors are constantly phoning. Adam Silver is enraged. And the WNBA might lose everything in a matter of seconds. Welcome to the tale that the league never intended for you to learn. If you're observing this, you're witnessing WNBA history crumble in real time. Click like, subscribe, and comment. If you support Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, you should boycott 2026. The Gamers Group chat leak was the catalyst for all of this. Caitlin Clark apparently received a warning from Cathy to cease doing outdoor sports, particularly golf. However, it didn't stop there. She also issued warnings to Sophie and Lexi, threatening benchings, suspensions, and perhaps termination.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury.
The players were stunned. We can't even play golf, Caitlin inquired. We are not even capable of having lives. As word got out, Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest star, felt trapped for the first time. Lexi and Sophie wouldn't let her be by herself. They declared, if they suspend you, we walk, too. Fans love free athletes, free sisters, and free teammates. And Cathy decided to create a war at the worst possible time. Fans went crazy as soon as the threat appeared online. Just one fan tweet had 1.2 million views. Let's suspend the WNBA and suspend Caitlin. Reddit blew up. Instagram took off. TikTok blew up. The fans weren't upset. They had finished. They recalled fictitious fouls, targeted hits. Caitlin benched for defense. Threats related to golf, cautioning players for just being there. The nuclear button was then depressed. A boycott for 2026 was signed by 200,000 fans, confirmed, official, and expanding every minute. People did more than simply abstain. Families abstained. Children abstained. Friends abstained. The rage didn't go away. It was a generational issue. The sponsor saw the numbers in a matter of hours. They didn't hold off. They didn't bargain. They gave Cathy a call. You lose as if you lose Caitlin. This isn't a league problem, a sponsor representative actually stated. This is a Cathy issue. All of a sudden, emails began to arrive at league headquarters.
High tide lifts all boats or whatever, basically. Like, if you buy into this, everybody is going to eat. Yet you had people fighting tooth and nail the entire season, not wanting it to be this way because other people weren't getting flowers, or she was getting too much attention, or she gets a special whistle, or I'm gonna check her off the ball here just because. And then her teammate cheers for her for throwing her on the ground. It didn't get better. And it's disappointing to me because it's not every player in the WNBA. And I'm sure that there are many players who are happy to have her in the league. And it's like, if it was my league and somebody was coming in and bringing millions of people, like, I would be excited about that, because you know what? That's a chance for me to impress millions of people who weren't watching before. And there's a lot of women in this league who don't have that kind of envy and jealousy and this kind of like secret club mentality that they only want certain people to be.
Subsequently, over 100 businesses withdrew funds, froze funds, and threatened to walk forever. The WNBA came to the conclusion that there was not a scandal. there was no controversy here. This was a heart attack in terms of money. In real time, Cathy's choices were ruining the league. Adam Silver lost it when there were 210,000 boycotts. Fix this or step down, he yelled as he entered the office and slammed a binder on the table. There was silence in the room. Cathy froze. Her face turned pale. Why are you threatening players for living their lives? He questioned her. Why are you focusing on Caitlyn? Why are you alerting her teammates? She muttered excuses. He was unconcerned. You're not stopping golf, he told her bluntly. You are not suspending anyone. No one is being fired by you. The assistant commissioner then whispered something to Silver, which is when the narrative starts to become crazy. He got up, shook his head, and left. There was no meeting, no conversation, just legendary frustration. Within Fever headquarters, the phones of the players were ringing non-stop. 200K, 220K, 235K, and 250K boycotts. Caitlyn gazed at the display. Sophie took hold of her hand. Lexi gave them both a hug. In a whisper, Caitlyn said, "They're doing this for us." Sophie replied, "Then we stay strong." Lexi replied, "Together." The WNBA headquarters was in disarray at the same time, with staff members sobbing, phones ringing non-stop, emails blowing up, sponsors frozen, and executives hiding in their offices. And Cathy, she was trembling. She had no backup, no support, and no plan. She became aware of the reality. You can't battle your supporters. You cannot put your stars in danger. People are beyond your control. And at last, the supporters reclaimed their league. When families were taken into account, the boycott estimate surpassed 1 million by the end of the day. Cathy's office door was locked, and her chair was vacant. She remained silent. The league lost money, stability, sponsors, fans, and reputation that
holding the players back from saying, yes, we agreed to an extension. Let's try to iron out this deal so there is no lockout. Right? They'll still be able to negotiate if there's a lockout. However, players won't be able to head to the facility. They won't be able to get treatment. They won't be able to train with the team, with the staff. So there is some things to lose if there is a lockout. Sources: WNBA offers players extension on CBA deadline. The WNBA has offered players a 30-day extension to continue negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, sources told ESPN on Tuesday. An extension before the current CBA expires Friday would allow both sides more time to negotiate a new deal.
That question, which raises some sensitivities of rivalries between players. In the case of Angel Reese, who's just had to shut it down because of a wrist injury, Caitlin Clark, who's continuing to play. Rivalry that goes back to their college days, presumably, where I guess some trash talking entered in. But now it seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more menacing turn, where race has been introduced into the conversation, where sexuality is sometimes introduced into the conversation. How do you try and stay ahead of that, try and tamp it down, or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem, but their fan bases are.
Control all because she put Caitlyn, Sophie, and Lexi, the three people she was supposed to protect, in danger. Not only did the WNBA lose players today, it was no longer trusted. Furthermore, trust is crucial. Comment boycott 2026 until justice is served. If you think the fans were correct, please click like and subscribe if you support Caitlyn, Sophie, and Lexi. This controversy is far from done.